Hey y'all, it's Lilo the Libra, and today I am going to be doing 2 deck reviews. I am really excited. These are going to be my first 2 deck reviews ever, which I hope I do well. I hope that you guys can understand this video. I have edited multiple videos in my life, but I have never done like a review on something, so I hope that this makes sense. I hope that it comes together cohesively, and I will continue to improve in my journey of YouTubing. All right, so today I am going to be reviewing the Mystic Martian Oracle, which I already did my review for this, so stay tuned to see what I say. Love that deck. Not trying to spoil it, but I do love it. And the Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. I was so happy when I went to Barnes & Noble today and I saw this. I was initially going to pick up the Mystic Mondays or tarot deck. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that deck, but I was actually going to go pick that deck up, but they didn't have it, so I was kind of stuck. But I was previously scrolling on Amazon and I saw these 2 decks on Amazon and I was like, new decks? Oh my gosh, yay. And I was gonna order them on Amazon. This was actually for pre-order on Amazon, not for full purchase. And I was so surprised when I saw this. I was like, wait a minute. Growing up, Alice in Wonderland was literally like my favorite movie ever. And I'm talking about like the cartoon, not the remake version, like the 2010 version. No, I'm talking about like the old school Alice in Wonderland. It was like my favorite movie ever. I watched it like 3 times a day, not even over exaggerating. And yeah, so here's my receipt. I wanted to show it because, is this my receipt? Yes, it is. I wanted to show it because for the Mystic Martian Oracle deck, I definitely sound like I was paid to talk about it. Like, that's how much I love that deck. But yeah, I just want to show y'all. So for the Mystic Martian one, I paid $21. You can't even see it, mirrors. And for the Alice in Wonderland tarot deck, I paid $24, or $25 rather, because it was $24.99. So yeah, I'm gonna get right into it. Upon first glance of the Mystic Martian Oracle deck, I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to start taking it seriously, just because it looks very cartoony and it kind of looks like something straight out of a children's show. However, I really enjoy the packaging of this box. You can tell a lot of time went into the concept and design of it, as well as it is my favorite shade of green. This is the Guidebook. I get into this later. Yeah. So the actual quality of the cards, first off, I really enjoy how they came packaged. This plastic ring is what kept the cards together. But yeah, so the backings of these cards are probably, and I'm not over exaggerating when I say this, my favorite backings of any Oracle deck that I have ever purchased in my life. I enjoy the art so much, from the backings to the fronts, and the edges of this deck caught me so off guard. I love it so much. When I first opened the deck, I freaked out. I was like, I am obsessed with that green edging. Oh my gosh. So when I fanned out these cards, I realized how much I also really love the art theory of these cards. Like, they all are so cohesive. They all are very different, but also you can tell that they're all from the same creator. This card reminds me of the Hierophant from the tarot deck. I really love how the character in this card is sitting, and I found this card really funny, the reptilians. Yeah, I really enjoy that this deck has no borders. I find that borders can really distract from the art. I also love that the font is just there, like the words are just there. There's no border, there's no background for them. I really love that because there's a huge focus on the art. This is my favorite card in the whole deck, the Venetians card. I'm a Libra, which means that I am ruled by Venus, so I am a Venetian. and I find that that card represents us well. I think that each card is extremely detailed, and you won't need many cards in a reading to really get to the core of what it is that you need to know. I love that they included the Kabbalah because I work closely with the Kabbalah and I use the Kabbalah's teachings to read when I read tarot. So, really amazing. I can't wait to use this deck with my Thoth tarot deck. Shuffling these cards, oh my gosh, I'm in love with the shuffle of these cards. I love the sound they make. I love how they look when they shuffle. I don't know. Something about these cards, the quality is just amazing. I think this is like, if I had to choose one quality for each of my decks, I would choose this quality. All right, so here is where I spread all the cards out so I could see how they look all together. And truly, I have almost no critiques for this deck. I think that it was made well. You can tell that a lot of time went into it. And I feel like upon exploration of this deck, I realized that it is not really meant to be taken seriously. I think you can learn a lot from joking about things and being a little bit more open and leisurely with your teachings. But here is the guidebook. I really enjoy the guidebook because it is in full color. It is really in depth. Each card has its own page, and I would say even page and a half for some of them. There's also two sectors, I would say. So there is the sacred geometry linked cards, which, like I said, I work with sacred geometry, so I'm definitely going to have fun with that. And yeah, you see there's like 2 pages here for this one card, and I really enjoy the fact that they put the full card on each page. I really love the little designs and the dingbats that they use to express like the oh, this right here. I love the fact that there's a reversed meaning for each card that adds a whole nother depth to each card than if there was just to be like upright meanings. You also really have to use your intuition for this deck and kind of read the room with this deck because there are so many meanings for each card. Like there are literally at least 15 meanings for each card, upright and reversed, which I love because that means that the possibilities are literally endless. You see the sacred geometry linking cards. Really enjoy the art in this deck and just how much time and effort and the quality. This is Lisa Porter, who is the illustrator and author, which you go, girl. I really love this deck. I thought I would have more complaints and more criticism. I really don't, which is kind of weird for me because I'm pretty iffy about certain things, and I just don't feel iffy about this deck at all. I enjoy it very much. If I had to say one thing about this deck is that I feel like it is one of those things that might make people look at you a little weird, like, why do you have a Martian deck and why do you think that aliens belong in my reading? But truly, the teachings, the words that are used, and the depth of each card really matters when it comes to this deck, and I just can't wait to use it. I'm really excited. One thing I do want to mention is that I feel as though this deck works heavily with the law of correspondence, which is the thought of as above, so below. So whatever is happening in our galactic skies, whatever's happening outside of our universe is also happening here below with us. And I really love using that rhetoric or that teaching to explain certain things such as aliens and such as the universe. Oh, I also wanted to mention there are 40 cards in this deck, which is a pretty hefty deck. Not the most, but not the least. Definitely enjoy the amount of cards in this deck. I wanted to compare it to a standard tarot Rider-Waite deck. That's a deck that I know that most people have. So yeah, the cards are like standard oracle size, not too big, not too small. I enjoy this size for my hands. I have pretty big hands. And that's me comparing like the thickness. Don't mind like the really wrecked tarot cards, but yeah, that's me just like comparing the cards. I enjoy the size very much. It's perfect for an oracle deck. It almost sounds like I was paid to make this video. That's how much I love this deck, but I promise you I went and I bought it myself. Yeah, this is me like showing y'all how easy it is to like kind of manipulate the cards and the card stock, but it also shows you that they're not very easily impressionable, so meaning like you can bend these cards and they won't stay in that shape. They'll snap right back to how they were. And yeah, really love that. That was it for the Mystic Martian Oracle deck. Overall, I find that this deck is amazing. I like the packaging. I like the size of it, the sleekness. I think that this is going to fit really well on my shelf where I keep all my other decks. So yeah, it's simple, sleek, and clean. I really enjoy the packaging. Also, the aesthetic of it is amazing. I really love the aesthetic. A lot of people may not like it, but I am someone who likes really weird art and really colorful, poppy, cartoony art. It catches my eye, and I find that aesthetic is obviously extremely important when you are doing readings, because you want to be attracted to what you are learning. You want to have that pull and that gaze into what you are learning, and I definitely think that this deck captures that. When it comes to concept, it is not entirely unique. It is not entirely one of its kind. However, it definitely comes from a different place when it approaches this concept. I don't think that there is any deck like this. I am someone who looks for decks. I am someone who studies decks. I have many decks myself, and I have never seen a deck that kind of approaches concepts in quite a way that Lisa Porter approaches the concept of star seeds and the universe and other planets. So I really enjoy that. It also has a very nostalgic feel as well. It kind of does remind me of like the psychedelic kind of art that I used to see when I was younger a lot, and it brings me back to that time. I really enjoy the concept, and I feel like having each card be super in-depth and have so many different meanings, also an upright and reverse meaning, as I mentioned before, is really important to me, and I think that that is amazing in and of itself. The quality of the cards, like I said in the video, if I could choose one quality for every single deck that I own, I would choose this quality. I love the matte cards. I love the edging. I love the no borders. I love cards with no borders. It allows room for the art. It allows the art to speak for itself, and I find that extremely important. And the guidebook is amazing. The guidebook goes super in depth. Like I said, each card has like its own page and a half. Some of them have even 2 pages, 3 pages. I think that that's extremely important. It goes in depth, and it's super simple to understand as well. And yeah, so I give this a 9 out of 10 recommend. As well as the price is fairly cheap. I paid $21.95 plus tax, US dollars, and I find that that is fairly cheap. It's one of my cheaper decks, and it is the best quality deck that I have picked up in a while. So yeah, I hope that that helped, and I highly recommend that if you are looking for a new Oracle deck, that you pick up the Mystic Martian Oracle. All right, so that's enough talk about the Mystic Martian Oracle. Let's get into the Alice in Wonderland Tarot, which I was so freaking excited for. You have no clue. As I said before, this was my favorite movie when I was younger, and they do have another Alice in Wonderland deck on Etsy. I forgot the name of the artist. Here's me opening this packaging with an extremely rusty X-Acto knife. But anyway, yeah, but that deck is an indie deck, and it is quite expensive. So yeah, but this is Disney owned, Disney brand, which I am usually skeptical of buying like spiritual paraphernalia. No, I'm extremely skeptical of buying like spiritual tools and items from big name brands like Disney. It is quite contradicting, if I did have to say something about that, but it is a cute deck. I'm not gonna lie, it is a really cute deck, and I really love the idea and concept of Alice in Wonderland becoming the fool and going on a fool's journey, right? Because that's kind of what she does throughout the movie. So I can see how this concept came about. But yeah, that's me showing off the box. I enjoy the box. It is, like I said about the Martian Oracle, it's that standard like pull box. As you can see, you have to hold the bottom and pull up the top. And I love the inside of the box. I think the box is really good, high quality. You can see the thickness of the cardboard here when I show it there. And there's the guidebook. Y'all, look at this. Oh my gosh, yes. That's so brand new. So that was me fangirling over the bag in this box. Safe to say that's the only tarot deck out of many that I own that came with its own little bag. Here's me showing off the guidebook. I really love the Queen of Hearts on the back. But yeah, I was so hyped about this bag. Y'all have no clue. Like, I was just so happy that it came with its own little like velvet bag, which is really cool, especially if you don't have like a lot of space on your shelf where you store your tarot tools or whatever. Tarot decks. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Opening it was really satisfying. I enjoyed opening that bag a lot. Here's me pulling it out. Yes, I love it. So I'm gonna be honest, not the biggest fan of the borders. I don't like borders on decks, and I don't think that the color of this like border is my favorite, like that navy blue. I think that the border is bland. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's bland and I think it's ugly. Like, I can't really say that I like it. I like the backings. It kind of reminds me of Sleeping Beauty more than it reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. I feel like they should have done a lighter blue. They should have done like the blue on the bag or the blue on the box. I just don't like the blue of the border, but I really like that they made Alice the Fool. As I said, she kind of this was when I was like really surprised at the quality. It's extremely thin, like really, really thin. And here's where I compare my like standard Rider-Waite tarot card to the size of the regular card, and it's a little bigger, just like the tiniest bit bigger, but it is like the standard size. You see me like showing that it's a little bigger, but yeah, like the quality, I don't know if you could see, the Rider-Waite is thicker, so I show you like how kind of stiff that is, and then look at how flimsy this one is, which I don't have a huge problem with, surprisingly, but definitely was surprised at the quality of it. I didn't think that it was that great. I love that they made the High Priestess, the Cheshire Cat, the mystery. I love that so much. I think that that's really beautiful. I wasn't happy to see the Empress be the Queen of Hearts, but I can see why they did that, and yeah. So while I was flipping through the major arcana, I can see why and how they got the inspiration to make the characters what they did. I was so happy to see Tweedledee and Tweedledum be the pair, which is actually the lovers in the original deck. I love that so much. This is one of my favorite scenes from Alice in Wonderland, so love that chariot card. This is like the marigold cat lion thing that was in the movie, the little mouse. Yeah, so I can see how they chose which card would be which. I love that one. Yeah, I just really enjoy that this one right here, the hangman being suspension, and it shows her upside down. I love that so much. Absalom being transformation, which is death, makes so much sense, and I just really enjoy like seeing how they matched certain things to certain other things. That's the devil. He is a funny character in the movie to me. Yeah. So I see why he's the devil, very greedy. I see why this is the tower. Such a beautiful card. That's, I'd say, one of my favorites. So upon looking at the minor arcana, I was happily surprised to see that they had changed wands into flowers. And they also changed the whole minor arcana. Now, I was extremely disappointed by the minor arcana. Like, you can see I start flipping through it really quickly. I was so disappointed by the pips. I don't feel like it should have been pips. I think that there are many scenes in the movie where they could have used to make the minor arcana cards. But yeah, here's the court cards. I didn't really look into why they could have chosen the court cards the way they did. Here's pentacles, which is hedgehogs. Really cute, but also extremely disappointing. Like, yeah, as you can see, I was just slamming the cards down. I love the way they portrayed the Queen of Spears here. Yeah, so swords become spears in this deck. I really love the Knight of Spears. If you don't know tarot very well, I don't recommend that you use this deck because the spears cards look the same, the flowers cards look the same, the hedgehog cards look the same. That's one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite scenes in the movie. So yeah, love the little cat. That made me happy. That gave me serotonin. But yeah, these cards, look, I didn't even bother because I was like, they all look the same. And I was really sad about that. I also don't like the backgrounds of the pip cards as well. Like, I think they're really ugly. There were plenty disappointments in this deck, but also like really high points within this deck that made me still feel like I can use it and still make me feel like I can like it. So here's me shuffling, super easy shuffle because, as I said before, the quality of the cards is pretty thin. So anytime a card stock is thin, it's a really easy shuffle. I like how they bend right back into shape, like I didn't even shuffle them in the first place. I enjoy that. Yeah, that's what I have to say about the pips. Pretty disappointing. So overall, I understand the concepts of this deck and I understand why they may have matched certain scenes and certain characters to the major arcana and the court cards. However, I was extremely disappointed by the pips, as I said before. I would not be surprised, and I know this opinion may be a little bit harsh or maybe even wrong. However, I would not be surprised if Disney just took a team of people and an artist and commissioned them and said, hey, you need this deck done in a week so that we can get it on the shelves by the holidays. Like, I would not be surprised if that was the case. So I actually do want to talk about the author and the artist for this deck, who are both women, and Minerva Siegel is the author. She practices her own divination, and she actually was the writer of the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot, Supernatural Tarot, and Tarot for Self-Care, How to Use Tarot to Manifest Your Best Self. So I would say that this person knows a lot about tarot and knows a lot about what it is that, you know, makes up the tarot deck. However, the artist, on the other hand, who is Lisa Vanini, I'm not sure if she is someone who actually practices divination. Doesn't say anything about that. And unfortunately, these people are not credited on the front of the guidebook or on the box. But I would say that they should have gotten somebody who has created a tarot deck before to create the minor arcanas at least, or helped her create the minor arcana, the pip cards, because I really don't like it. But anywho, getting back to the guidebook, I really like the guidebook. It is in full color, which it better be for Disney, you know what I'm saying? All right, so yeah, that's what I have to say about the Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. Like I said, some pretty bad lows, but some really, really high highs. Like the fact that they included this velvet bag. Really love that. The quality of the cards was shocking. I didn't feel like, do y'all see how thin this card is? Like, I think this is like the thinnest deck I own now. And I have decks from like AliExpress, so that says something. Like I said, I don't like the backgrounds of, mind you, okay, so if you don't know anything about tarot, wands or flowers in this case represents fire. Do you see anything that has to do about like with fire? Maybe the gold like ring in the background may have something to do with fire, I guess. Like that's like the closest comparison I can get from that. But yeah, this yeah. Okay, anyway, so I do want to talk more about the guidebook because I actually didn't get to talk a lot about it because I lost some footage for the flip through of it. But I do like the explanations of the cards. Like I said, the author who helped write this, Minerva Siegel, she practices divination, so obviously she has her very own explanation of the cards. They also do a really good job at connecting the cards to the story of Alice in Wonderland, which I really enjoy. Overall, the packaging of this tarot deck is amazing. I love the packaging. I love the outside of the deck. I like the box that it comes in. I like the velvet bag, obviously. I got so excited for that. And yeah, the aesthetics, I love the art. Okay, let me just say, Lisa Vanini, she is a really great artist. I actually really do love the art on the deck. I think that it is one of my favorite art styles. It's really pretty. I enjoy the art. This has nothing to do with the artist necessarily. It really just has to do with the laziness I feel, or the rush that I feel came from the pip cards. That's really it. The concept makes sense to me. Like I said, I really do feel like Alice is a great representation of the Fool, and I think that the journey she goes throughout the movie really correlates to the actual Fool's journey in the physical tarot deck itself. So it makes sense. I like the concept. I think that it's a beautiful concept. Do I think it was portrayed well? For the most part, yes. It's just those damn pip cards that get me. Yeah, quality of the cards, like I said, this is a really thin card stock. I'm not sure if they did that on purpose, but look how I could just bend this whole, I know y'all are probably like, don't bend them. No, they're gonna be used anyway. The quality is pretty shocking. Like I was not expecting for the cardstock to be that thin, like literal paper almost. So there's that. But I enjoy the box quality. I enjoy all that. And the guidebook is really nice. I really like the guidebook. It's pretty thick. It also comes with some spreads in the back, which I like. The Cheshire Cat's Conundrum, that's pretty cool. I really enjoy that. I like the color of the book, like I said before. Excuse me. So this deck was $25. Not a very expensive deck at all. I'm trying to kind of think in my head, like, is it really worth $25? I would say it is worth $25. It is a collector's item. If you are like a Disney collector, you probably will buy this even though you don't really know much about tarot, which I'm pretty sure that's who they market these tarot decks to. Like people who just buy anything Disney, you know, like that's probably what these decks are marketed towards. So people like me who are actual like studiers of tarot, users of divination, and I actually read for multiple people and clients, you know, it is a little bit of a disappointment, I would say. But hopefully I'm gonna look into buying the actual like indie deck brand of the Alice in Wonderland. Okay, so I actually want the Disney Villains deck, and I want the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck as well, but now I'm kind of questioning if I do really want those, because if this deck made me feel this way, then maybe those decks will make me even angrier. So if I had to rate this on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give this deck like a 6.5 or a 7. Not the worst deck that I own, but definitely far from the best. So yeah, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I hope that I didn't bore y'all to death, and I can't wait to do some more reviews sometime in the future. I do find this really fun, and it is one of my greatest passions and hobbies. So yeah.